Hi everybody, I just got done my 12th book for this year. It was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. If you're familiar with this author, they have done other duologies and trilogies, Shadow of Bones and Six of Crows. I have not read either of those, so I cannot talk about those. However, this book I loved. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I must admit it is outside my comfort zone. It is a kind of mythical, magical fantasy book, which is just not normally my thing. I have read books that include magic and sort of unrealistic things, Addie LaRue, How to Stop Time, Midnight Library, things like that. So I have not never read fantasy books or kind of magic involving books, but this I wasn't expecting it to be one. So that being said, if you're familiar with that author, you're probably not surprised, but this book has a lot of magic and paranormal themes in it, in addition to sort of old money Ivy League creepy. That was what I was expecting, was just the old money Ivy League sort of creep with this book. I knew it was going to be darker. I just didn't know it was going to involve ghosts and magic and things like that. That being said, I still really loved it. I thought it was really entertaining. It was really well put together. The timeline bounces around a little bit. There's 2 different points of view with this book. There's the main character, Alex, and then there's sort of her tutor or her guide named Darlington. Most of the book is written from Alex's point of view. I would say as far as the timeline is concerned, you do get a little bit of each of their upbringings and sort of their youth, but a lot of it probably is within a 1-year time span, from the point where Alex gets approached to attend Yale and kind of do some, I don't know if extracurricular is really the word for it, but join a society, I guess you could say, which involves the houses of the 8, or the 8 houses of the Vale, Skull and Bones, things like that. So anyway, she gets approached to go to Yale, full ride. Great opportunity, great, but it comes with a lot of dangerous work involved. So I would say probably the main storyline goes from about that time frame through to where you are right now, with her learning and trying to figure out a couple of different things that are going on around campus. Alex herself is not a very likable character. She has a lot of flaws. She has a lot of issues. She is the problem. That being said, she knows that she's the problem. So because of that, I was still able to enjoy her point of view and her perspective, and enjoy her as a character. There is nothing more infuriating, in my opinion, than a character that is the problem and refuses to kind of acknowledge that or figure that out or kind of grow from it. I think a great example of that was Greenwich Park. I hated the main character in that. She was so infuriating because she was the problem in a lot of ways. A lot of other ways she was the victim, but because of the way that she acted and the way that she kind of carried herself and stuck her head in a hole, were ways in which she was easily kind of targeted for some of the things that happened to her. And I just find that really frustrating. This character, though, yeah, she's a problem and she's a wreck, but she's aware of it and she can kind of work on it a little bit. I love this book. I am going to get the sequel to this book, which is also outside of my normal MO. Typically, I like standalone books. I don't do series. I don't do trilogies. I just don't like it. I feel like I get way too invested in characters, and sometimes it gets just way too drawn out when you're doing a series. This does have a second book. I think it's planned to be 3, so I'm going to get the second one. I'm going to break my rules and start a series. So there we go. If you've read Ninth House, let me know. If you read the sequel to this one, I think it's called Hellbent. Please let me know if it's as good as the first one, or maybe I'm crazy and they're both terrible. So just let me know your thoughts and feelings. I don't think I'll get into Six of Crows or Shadow and Bone. The author is really good and really talented, but from what I've looked into, those books are extremely kind of fantasy. Probably too far for me personally. Okay, so up next, I needed a good palate cleanser. I needed something easy, fluffy, and kind of just like funny and simple. So I have romantic comedy. This is by Curtis Sittenfeld, and I think I like the idea so far. I'm about 25 pages in. Basically, it's a comedy writer who works for a late night show. It's giving SNL, but like obviously they call it something else. It's called The Night Owls, but airs once a week, live show with celebrity hosts and guests and things like that. a comedy writer who works on the show. I think basically there's going to be some sort of romantic entanglement between her and the guest that week, who is a musician. So, yeah. Nothing too deep, nothing that's going to alter your brain chemistry or change your life, but hopefully something interesting and a good little palate cleanser after reading something so dark. Okay, so again, if you've read romantic comedy or if you've read Ninth House, please let me know your thoughts and feelings, and I'll be seeing you guys next Monday.